I'll be quiet now.
No, feel free. Go ahead and answer my question for me.
Okay, moving on. Time's up, guys. Moving on.
We went from mansplaining last week to super mansplaining today.
Now we keep explaining.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Here's Pete podcast. I'm your host, Chris. As always, here to talk about geek entertainment and pop culture with my wonderful co-hosts. With me today, I have the boys. We've got Keith. How you doing, Keith?
Hey. Being black and mattering.
And Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Hanging in there. It's starting to cool down up here.
Uh-oh. Winter's coming.
Yep.
Definitely.
Already?
The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight approaches.
And James. How you doing, James?
What's going on? Crookshanks. How you been?
I couldn't think of a better name today. That's all I had. That's all that popped in my head. Trying out a new angle. If people hate my face, let me know. I can go back to the other one. So today we've got a couple of topics. We're just going to talk about our weekend a little bit, have a little fun, talk about Labor Day weekend. We are going to do a non-spoiler review of the first couple of episodes of The Boys, and a full spoiler review of Disney's new Mulan. That thing's getting a lot of heat right now, but I didn't see any numbers to how well it's doing financially, so I don't know. Maybe someone's got some of those. So let's start with our weekends. Who did something fun this weekend? Keith, I saw you golfing.
Yeah. Keith and I went golfing together. We did our own Heroes
Speaking to
Peak.
Keith or James? Because I
He's
swear.
speaking-
like that's it's so odd that he just did that.
I'll be quiet now.
No, feel free. Go ahead and answer my question for me.
Okay, moving on. Time's up, guys. Moving on.
We went from mansplaining last week to super mansplaining today.
Now we keep explaining.
It was dope. I mean, I've handled golf clubs before. I've been at like
I've handled golf clubs before. It's good to know.
I've been to tons of driving ranges. Like that's. But like I've never really played like holes of golf, and it was interesting. I actually like I get it now. Like I never really understood like why like what it's a cool actually to me like less of a sport, more of a pastime. But maybe as I take it more seriously, maybe. But
it depends how much you care where the ball goes and how hard you work at it.
I found that I like marginally cared. Like I definitely wanted to hit the ball well.
Yeah.
I wanted to hit the ball well.
Did you hit the ball well?
But it was more. I had a few good ones.
He had the shot of the day on the 18th hole.
I had a few good ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was proud of myself.
You know, it's a shot when people in the clubhouse was like, "Oh, was that your shot up at that 18?"
Oh yeah, like we got to the clubhouse. Oh yeah, we saw your shot. Good shot there. And
that means they were watching you the whole time.
Hey, that's what that means. Number one. That's number one. What it means.
So that means you guys are done and leaving now, right?
Because the four of us, I feel like got tons of attention. But yeah, like I enjoy the pastime of it. Like it's almost like being out in nature with some friends you like. Like it's yeah, I like it. I definitely it's in my repertoire now. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I too have only been to the range, but never on the course. So
I've done a few. Do some 9-hole courses. 9-hole courses are nice. They're light. It only takes like 2 hours to do if you're not horrible. And
the time really flew by though.
Oh, it's so nice though. It's so nice to walk around.
By.
Especially
when it was about like 4 hours though.
Especially when we finally got the beer car lady, then yeah, time started flying by.
What about you, James? So how was your golf trip then?
I had to share that same golf event with Keith. Sorry, I overstepped on him. earlier. But I think it was fun because it was his first real outing, like you mentioned before, and I'm at the stage where I'm still a beginner, just trying to get better. So it was good just seeing someone go through the same basic steps that I went through not too long ago.
Hmm.
And it also helps me improve my game, seeing how he was able to pick up a couple things real quick and just a natural, this dude. So, and then we got a little competitive here. The once we got on the green, who can get it closest? It was pretty fun. I think this is something that I was very happy that he was able to enjoy with us and another buddy of mine. It was pretty good. As far as the weekend in general, I think that was definitely the highlight. One of the lowlights, and I know we sometimes we talk offline because three of us here are parents of preteens, younger and older. And for me, one of my lowlights is having to ground or punish my older child because they decided to take my car out for a spin without even getting permission.
So it
Oh,
begins.
hurts.
It hurts.
Like I told
Um,
you, that's what I did. That's how I got in my first car accident. Is I took the car without permission.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone I talk to about it around our age say the same thing. Yeah, I remember this. I was doing that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't do any of that. I understand because I didn't have a parent with a car at the time, but still, it was just tough to know that it happened, a little betrayal of trust. But then, things could have been worse. I know Keith, for example, I spoke to him about it. He's like, dude, it could have been a lot worse than that. Be glad I didn't,
Yeah, yeah.
let it be.
But it's that
So,
taste of freedom. It's right there, sitting in the driveway. If you have the two things, you have keys and you have a license, and it's just so tempting.
I don't know if this is 2020 or maybe it's always like that for kids.
Oh, it's
Um,
always. I
It's
mean,
always been like that. Yeah.
there was always kids getting in trouble when I was a kid for stealing the car, going out at night, staying out too late. As soon as they get that license, man, it takes a little while to bring the wonder down a bit.
I know, Chris, you were talking about that, but Mike, did you ever go through the same maneuvers when you were young, taking your parents' car in
Oh, all
Queens?
the time. They used to go on vacation without me, leave me home.
Oh,
And,
you had the full Will Smith song thing. What was that? What's the hell is the name of that song where he steals his parents' Corvette?
Parents just don't understand.
yeah.
Is it parent? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it is parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Mike. That was based on Mike's life.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that's my weekend, and that's why our Heroes Peak not Twitch, TikTok account is on a moratorium at the moment because someone does
Well,
not have a
I
phone.
posted to TikTok
You did?
on Friday. Remember?
Oh yeah, that. That's why we need her back.
The at the buzzer shot.
Yeah, she could have done it. She could have spazzed it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. That was my first one, right? I'm still learning it's a whole weird thing to make a video on that, right? So.
Yeah, but I've seen where she's able to create real quick. She does a pretty
Mhm.
good job at it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so yeah, moratorium on that for a while.
Yeah. So what about you, Mike? What was your high and low for the weekend?
I don't know. It's all a blur. It's gone by too fast. I know I saw Mulan and caught up on some shows. Did a couple things around the house, but other than that, I don't even remember. Oh, and some Raptors games. That
Yeah.
disappointment from last night. I'm still there. So
Oh, I'm sorry to hear you didn't get more fun out of the Labor Day weekend.
no, I was fine. Like I'm at that age. I don't care, right? So it's not like it's a big thing for me. It's just another day.
Yeah.
I'm working or I'm not working,
Wait.
right? So
Wait, is it Labor Day in Canada? I just
Yeah,
realizing that you're in a different country.
yeah, except it's labor with a U.
Labor with the U.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely no you in labor up here.
You guys spell color with the U up there too.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm.
And all the ER words are RE up here.
So if
Like
we do the dad math for my weekend, it was Dad wanted to do 5 things over a 3-day weekend, and guess how many dad things got to get done?
0.
0. So not to complain, we did some fun stuff. I helped my in-laws out, but you got to go up to the lake. Got to go out in the lake on a speedboat for a little bit. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hung out a little bit. Had dinner with the extended fam. It's always a good time. And then let's see here. Oh, put a trampoline together this weekend.
I saw that. I was waiting for you to get to that. Trampoline.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to put that together?
Yeah, it actually didn't take too long. We in the transfer had lost a spring, so I had to go back and find that. And then my son, I come back. My son's jumping. My middle son, right? He really kind of led the charge. I let him kind of go out with the other kids and start putting together. So I go out and he's jumping on the trampoline. He's having a good time. I'm like, I'm standing there and I have this bolt in my hand, which is not in the leg, because there was a nut missing. So I went to the store and I got the bolt and I brought the bolt with me and I had the nut. And I walk in and he's jumping and I'm looking. I'm going, what are you doing? One of the legs is not completely attached. So put it all together. Now it's all safe. I safely harnessed it down, so it's not going to fly anywhere. But
Meeting OSHA standards.
OSHA.
well, my whole yard's fenced in and all the whole shebang. So the kids like it. That's all that matters. It's as safe as anything else they do in the backyard with their fight club or whatever else they do back there.
My club.
Oh, it's not my club. I can talk about it.
Okay.
All right, guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to start. I don't think we're going to do spoilers for the boys. I think we just want to have a little, maybe you can say stuff that was in the trailer, but other than that, I'd stay away from details.
Mm.
But let me just get your feeling on the first 3 episodes of The Boys. We all finished the last season 1. So this is the first 3 episodes of season 2. All the entire same cast. There's no changes or anything like that.
There are some additions.
There's additions, but I mean, like the base cast is back. The biggest addition right now is Stormfront, who is a new superhero taking over for the Translucent, who, as we know from the first episodes of last season, is no longer with us. And she has a surprise at the end of episode 3 for everybody. So if you haven't watched it yet, you definitely want to get through those first 3 episodes to get to that point.
Yeah, I actually didn't get to watch the 3rd episode yet. I saw the first 2.
Oh
no. I don't want to pass on any spoilers there, but
it's okay. I don't care.
So far, what's your feelings about the first couple of episodes, guys? I'm going to let Keith go first.
Wait. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Keith.
What he meant to say. Sorry.
I felt that it was very gratuitous. Like the violence on this one was very gratuitous in a way that was very much like meaning to show you its gratuitousness and not serve any other plot part.
Gross to be gross.
Gross to be gross. Like when that cat came in and he killed everybody, he killed all the I guess terrorists or whatever
Black
they were.
Noir.
You remember when Black Noir came in, and then he cut off the dude's head and walked past the kid's room.
Yeah.
I felt like that whole scene was only to show, like it served zero plot point at all. It was just to show how gross they could be in that moment.
I'm not sure it's zero plot point in the sense that I almost feel like they're taking these and making them worse. Like, it feels like season 1, they were bad. They were corporate hacks. They were violent. They were willing to let people die or kill a person. This is like, hey, you know what? They weren't bad enough in the first season. Now they're the worst things on the planet.
Yeah, if you weren't on the boys' side in season 1, you will be now, basically.
That's what I got out of it. Yeah. I mean,
but I kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I see where Keith is going though, because some of it, like that scene, I was just like, oh man, that's
like, okay, Black Noir really to me didn't have like the hugest presence in the first
No.
Yeah, not at all, right?
season. So cool. I guess you're trying to like really bring him in with a bang, or like, you know what I'm saying, do something like different with, make sure that we know about his character. But it wasn't just him. It wasn't just like, to me, like, it was already dark, and I feel like it's gotten darker.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Definitely.
It's in a weird way. Like now, like I get from the first season, like, yeah, okay, it's a play on like which ones are the bad guys or the good guys. You know what I'm saying? Like the bad guys who you think are the bad guys are actually the good guys, and the superheroes are actually bad guys, kind of lightweight. Now, to me, it's just a bad guy on bad guy situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really like who's the good guy here, which is to me kind of interesting.
Yeah, because Butcher's still an ass, you know.
He's still an ass. Like like he was literally he was about to kill.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Is this not why you are here?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Knock that shit off.
He was about to kill the
What's her name's brother?
yeah, like.
Okay, we are going to throw the spoiler warning anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. If we're going to do it, we might as well do it. Just saying.
But like
because we kind of want to talk about it. So
it just seems like bad guy on bad guy action now.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Mike? You agree that it's just straight, everybody's horrible all the way around?
Well, like I said, I only saw the first 2 episodes. I can't really judge yet. I mean, so far, yeah. I mean, I do want to say that, like, so far, I'm really liking Stormfront.
Of course you would.
Wait. He hasn't got to the 3rd episode yet. He hasn't got to the 3rd episode
I'm not there yet, but that's why I said so far, I like her. And,
I will say that that means
the second season.
The showrunners did a great job in the first 2 episodes on her. Absolutely.
And I liked that the end of the second episode, where Starlight was going after she finally confronted A-Train about, with his bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that whole the whole V situation there. So, what else? Yeah, it was a little weird. Yeah, the violence. It was almost like cringy to me, like at some parts. Like,
you mean when he ripped that guy's head off from the jaw? That was Black Noir did that in an episode.
Oh yeah, right, yeah, that part. And what was the other? Oh, the one that when Homelander, the blind guy, was auditioning for.
Oh
yes.
shit!
And I was just like, what the fuck? Oh my god!
No, you're just another blank.
That was
that was like it was just
But I could kind of see. Oh, wait till you get to me.
Yeah, no. Overall, I'm enjoying it. Of course, I'm gonna watch it because I want to see what the hell happens. And you guys are now making me gonna watch.
Oh, you gotta watch it tonight and tell us. You gotta text us what.
Yeah, I was gonna watch it yesterday, but I forgot to mention to you guys I went to see Tenet yesterday in the theaters, right? At the drive-in.
Oh,
in drive-in, nice.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I was in the drive-in.
Yeah, I got a message from my brother. He said Tenet was great.
Mm-hmm.
You should record it, man, Mike. We could post it up.
I think I gotta invite him on. Every time I
didn't, James.
Every time he texts me now, he's telling me his opinion on his movies.
Wait, hold on. I didn't mean you record the movie. I meant you record your reaction going to the drive-in, and not the movie.
Crap. I misunderstood your message, man.
I recorded the wrong thing.
I had that phone the wrong direction.
Record me.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on Tenet another time. But so I'll catch.
I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah. Isn't there a new Boys tonight, or is it what? I forget what day.
Wednesday or
I thought it was Wednesday.
Tuesday. I don't think anything new comes out on Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think anything.
So, all right, I think we're on James now.
I'm gonna deviate a little bit from where Keith is heading with. Although I do agree with the level of grotesque stuff is a little overboard, but I don't really have too much of an issue with that. I do want to, going back to what Keith was saying, deviate, because I get the fact that the first season they set the table with like the good and the bad guys for the most part, and then you kind of figured out which group that you're going to align with. Obviously, most people align with the boys themselves, and not so much with the seven. I think this season, this is my speculation, that again, imagine we're living in a world where superheroes are real. They have real impact, real powers. They have a propaganda machine, a corporation after them. And to me, it's not about good or evil. It's about the different levels of gray of each different character. And it's very obvious with Stormfront's character, without spoiling too much on Mike, where the way they portrayed her in the first episode and the second episode,
so
I'm
good
like,
at setting her up.
is this some SJW trash? And they had
I
this
knew
before.
Yeah,
You knew that's where I was heading, right?
Can I just add 2 notes real quick? I can see an internal struggle coming, especially with Queen Maeve. What's going on in her head, the way Homelander's been acting, and I can see Homelander's getting a lot worse. I loved his conflict with Giancarlo, who's running the corporation now.
Yeah,
I love Giancarlo, by the way. He was great.
I love him in everything.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying, James. But I feel like especially with Homelander's character, I feel like there's less gray area though. Like I struggle to find, like, normally I can look at a character and like be like, okay, I can see maybe the trauma that caused this character and why they're lashing out in the way that they are. And I understand, like, he was actually like a lab rat from a kid. But
so was 11, and she made it out
but
fine.
I do see
his level of callousness is straight, like, there's no gray.
His
There's no
chemistry
gray.
with his son showed that he really did care about his son. He just didn't know how to like do the right thing. Like in his mind, he's like, I'm gonna make him tough like me.
No.
It was all about him.
It's narcissism.
No, it has nothing about making him tough like him. Like,
yeah.
he's projecting like what he thinks he should be at this time. He's projecting this father image that he thinks that he should be, that he wants. He can't be it, but he wants to be it. So what do fathers do? They teach their kids how to do things and this, that, and the other. He's trying to, he feels like, oh, like, you're my son, so you should know how to fly. So it's time for you to learn how to fly. But he's just doing, like, he's literally trying to be someone and he doesn't know how to be that.
It's called toxic masculinity,
when,
James,
when I say
and they're portraying it right.
I get it. Toxic masculinity, yes. The opposite of SJ. But here's where I'm connected in my head. Our favorite argument, Darth Vader, right, in the Star Wars universe. We had an argument one time where you felt that Vader was redeemed by Luke. In my mind, I'm like, no, he wasn't.
I do not
wasn't
think
redeemed.
he's redeemed.
I think he was pushing for Luke to be just like him because he realized Luke was his son. So the love that he had for Luke when he was like, I'm your father, join with me together to rule the galaxy's father and son. That's his twisted mentality way of showing that he really does care for one other being in his universe, and that's his son. Homelander, as we know, is disconnected from everyone. The only person he really cared about, he killed in the first season at the end. And you still see him drinking the mother's milk, lack of a better word, because that's the only connection he really had to any other human being.
That is the word.
That's the only connection he really had to another human being until his son's in the picture. So now he's involved. He's eating breakfast. In his mind, it's not exactly. I mean, in our minds, we see it for what it is. This dude is fucked up. He doesn't get it. He borderline evil, right?
He's still.
But in his mind, and this is why I say gray. He doesn't see it that way. He doesn't see like he may kill a whole plane full of people, right, in season 1 because of the branding, but he's not doing that with his son. He thinks that what he's doing with his son is actual in his mind, the right way, the loving way to make him the better person his son is meant to be. He goes, "We're gods." He looked at him as like, "We are gods." He didn't say, "I'm a god."
This is going to be my view of the thing, and this is the part I wanted to talk about. This is less about the violence and more about the internal trauma of each of these characters and how they're displaying it. So the whole Homelander thing is he wants an equal to rule with. So he was basically giving himself over as a child to Elizabeth Shue right? And he was jealous of her baby because of the way he treated the baby. he wants someone at minimum his equal, if not almost a parent figure for himself.
You're right.
So
He gets jealous really easily, like with
so,
Maeve's girlfriend.
but it's not. It's that's a different relationship for him. That is not an equals relationship. That is he is in charge and everybody has to treat him as is in charge. His son, I think he wants to make into something different. And I think by the commercials, that's where he's going to run into Stormfront being as someone who doesn't bow to him, isn't afraid of him. And I think that's going to be an interesting relationship moving forward for him. Because his son basically, I can't say it because Mike hasn't seen it. So, and then everybody else's trauma. So now we've got Butcher, who...
Hold on. Stay on that before we get to Butcher.
Okay.
I hear your point. What I'm trying to say is I think that Stormfront is going to be like a black mirror to him to realize that she truly doesn't care about anything but the whole herself in the superhero world. No. Whereas, because you saw how he reacted at the end when she it wasn't just disobeyed orders. She just straight slaughtered that group, and he was like, "We're supposed to bring him
her
alive."
motivations are different. His motivation is very selfish. He doesn't care about others. He doesn't see them as equals. She has a specific group she doesn't care about.
Right. Well, we'll table that. Go ahead. Let's go to
I
Butcher.
think they're pretty similar characters, but their motivations separate them.
I agree.
And then we got Butcher with his... Basically, the question was, Butcher finding out his wife is alive, how are you going to motivate him now? Well, his new motivation is similar to his old one, but now he just wants to find his wife. So he's just the same asshole. I'm not even sure. He's the least interesting right now. He's a driver in the sense that he pushes and pushes, and he can kill people, and he's good at that. But he's the least interesting character this year, whereas last season he was one of the more interesting characters.
So far, yeah.
I'm interested in Starlight now that Starlight seems to be swinging back and forth about, is she good, or was she about to? She can't really stand up to. She's still afraid of Homelander. So I think if you go through all the characters one by one, you'll see a very mental, trauma-based season, I think, coming through. Whereas last season felt more physical. You're introducing to them. This one's good. This one's sort of good. This one's got a drug problem, whatever. Now you're really in their heads this season already.
It seems like for A-Train, for example, who I didn't like that much in the first season, now he's at a crossroads is because he understands that what he did to his girlfriend was wrong. He just, didn't stop himself because he's afraid of Homelander. And Starlight put that little bug in his head. Like, you understand, you can rat me out, but, I've got something on you too. And
he's still afraid, yeah.
Yeah, he's still afraid. So I'm hoping this is like his arc this season where he realizes that he could be a better person than the person he's been in season 1.
All right. And the last thing is that whole deep section.
Oh, yeah.
That was... I did not want to watch that at all. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
His body singing to him.
No matter what they do, I'm not a fan of his character.
I hated everything about that. I get what they were trying to get into his head about, but it was terrible to watch.
His character is so traumatic. Like, I feel like I want to understand what's deeper there about his character, like, its meaning and place in the show, but like it just feels sad about his.
But they also write his story in comedy reliefs, like when he was trying to save the fish last season, and they got killed.
Yeah,
and then this season with the whale. Like, I hear you. There's definitely some trauma there that we don't have to see the full picture. But the writers keep putting him in.
He is trauma. Like, it's like that last season when that girl pretty much molested him. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, I kind of got what they were trying to, like. I don't know.
His character seems to be there to be a punching bag.
And I feel like the arc of this show is that, like, the rest of the seven are going to gang up are going to be are going to gang up against
Homelander.
Homelander.
You're gonna have.
I think it's going to get very physical.
They made him the early real villain, right? In the season 1, and then everything after that for him has been explaining his trauma and kind of pushing him to this edge. And even at the last second there, when Homelander's like, "Cover up your gill, it's disgusting." Like, it was just one last stab to a guy who felt like he was maybe making progress, and it was hard to watch.
Like, it's him and his self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Like he definitely, I liken him to somebody he doesn't appreciate himself even in his his superhero-dom. Like, he really has, like, for real human insecurities about his, like, body insecurity even, I think.
Right, which is a very relatable insecurity. I mean, technically, if you look at all of them, have some sort of relatable insecurity here. But his is just, it's hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get back to the point about the Greys, and I was trying to make with what Keith was saying.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it's multiple characters in here that we've seen have, like for example, the girl. I think that's the actual name of the show, the girl, knowing that her brother is committing all these terrorist crimes, but knowing that she could still trying to help him and save him. And again, she herself did some shit last season too. So I think, I'm just thinking that, and I'm hoping this is how the season pans out. I could be totally wrong on this. Is that they're showing you that there's different levels of badness and evilness with these characters. That some of them are going to have an arc where they come back around, and some of them will go even deeper. And I think Stormfront's probably the catalyst for the heroes, and the Butcher might be the catalyst for the good guys.
Yeah, I think one last interesting thing about this season so far is the whole focus group propaganda bits that they keep showing you. Where they're doing the focus group. Does super terrorist mean something to you, or super villain? Like, so they've got this it's not even undertone, it's kind of in your face of telling you, hey, this is what happens. This is how they come up and they kind of push you.
I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to save America. I need the military. I was like, man, that's so on point.
It is. And that whole section, it's not going to get a lot because of how violent and all this other big stuff going on, but it's a real big point to the show, I think. All right.
And that's something that I think this show has done really well, was showing you how marketing in general works for like stuff that we don't even think about. Who'd have guessed superheroes? All of a sudden, that's the case study for how we think or marketing shit. How the media sells us stuff.
Well, and it's like there was the whole idea that, Watchmen is this idea of what a dark future reality with superheroes are. And I think this is a darker reality because it feels more real to me. It feels more like, marketing and image and all of that stuff behind the scenes would definitely play a larger role. Whereas Watchmen really focused on the government side of superheroes. I think this definitely focuses on the corporate and marketing side of superheroes.
But it's weird, though, that he has such an intimate knowledge of of what needs to be done business-wise, marketing-wise. I feel like that hasn't really been, or is he not doing that, and he's really just a company guy?
Homelander?
Homelander,
I think, is projecting. It's more of a, hey, I don't want people to think of the world or super terrorists. I don't care about the world. It's me. I'm an American guy, so I want everybody to think the way I do.
Well, he did make a point when he said that when she was like about saving the world, and he was like, no, saving America.
Right, but that's him. But
what
the focus group didn't agree with him.
They did agree with they agreed with him on the villain. They agreed with him on supervillain.
But they disagreed on the world versus America. They
No,
all raised their hand.
it wasn't. I don't think it was a question. I don't think it was a question because
Mm.
when it came back to him, he just made that suggestion to
I
her
don't
behind the
remember that
glass.
one.
They never
Mm.
asked them about the world or what you call. They
Mm.
wasn't it wasn't their question.
I'd
So
have to
what-
rewatch.
No, they
Yeah.
did. They did. She did. They were
They
asked.
asked him the first question about the
Villain versus-
villain,
yeah.
villain. That second thing, whatever they was talking about, that answer came back. It wasn't a Save America versus Save the World thing. It came back at Save the World, and he told the lady in the room, no,
Mhm.
Save America, and she was like, no, but saving the world is a big. He was like, we get paid by America.
Yeah, that part
Right.
is yeah.
So he understands, like, it's like he's a company guy. He understands about like the bread and where the bread is coming from and what you got to do to pander to the people who are giving you the bread.
Right, but he's also at the end there fighting corporate because he wants more control over the corporate. So there's this
Because he
there's
thinks his way is best.
Yeah.
right. They're butting heads on.
What I'm hoping that they're going to reveal is his connection with Elizabeth Shue from the first season that we didn't see a lot of backstory. Because that was his mentor, right? He was kind of working directly with her. She may have actually indoctrinated him with the corporate, the backstory, and how things get done to level him up to a point where he's like, he's a company man. Like he's not coming like,
I doubt that
like
that part
Black
gets,
Noir or any of those guys. He's
oh,
coming in.
okay. There was one thing.
I hear you, but I doubt that gets covered.
Oh,
I don't want to say it. I'm gonna let Mike watch. We'll talk more about it later. All right, guys. I think we we did quite a bit on the first 3 episodes. It's a big story that needs to be discussed.
yeah, Mike.
Jeez, not doing your homework.
I know.
All right, we are going to be moving on now. Now is definitely a spoiler. We're going to be talking about Mulan, the 2020 Disney live-action movie.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Is this not why you are here?
Do or do not. There is no choice.
Knock that shit off.
It is still the same story as the legend always has. A young Chinese girl disguises herself as a male warrior to keep her father safe and join the Imperial Army to protect China from the northern invaders. Now, this one, directed by Nikki Caro, writers Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, who are husband and wife, and wrote the trilogy with the Planet of the Apes trilogy. And starring, all right, so I wrote these down so I could hopefully get these right and not kill people's names here. So, Liu Yifei.
Wrong. I'm joking.
I'm like, what? Holy shit. Yeah. Liu Yifei plays Mulan. Donnie Yen plays the general. Li Gong plays the witch. Jet Li, the emperor. Jason Scott Lee. I totally did not, I saw him.
I saw.
Yeah.
He's very.
I'm
He's
like-
the most obvious one.
How do I know that person? And
Right. I
Jason-
did the same thing. I saw that face and I was like, I know that guy. But
He looked
where?
great. Jason
Yeah.
Scott Lee as Bori Khan. He looked awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yosan An as Hung Hae. I think I got that one way wrong. Sorry. Or the love interest basically, and Sai Ma as the dad, and a lot of other great cast. But those were the big ones while I was watching.
Wait, you got Jet Li in there?
Yeah, Jet Li
I
as
didn't
the
hear
emperor.
Yeah, he's the one I didn't notice until you guys dropped it.
I was like, the voice, he sounds kind of forced. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's Jet Li forcing like a deep grumbly.
Yeah, I would have missed that if you guys didn't drop that hint.
So now this movie has gotten a lot of flack online, and I don't want to get into none of us are Chinese cultural experts by any means whatsoever. So we're not going to be stepping our feet into that. But there is discussion online about stuff the main actress said about Hong Kong, about Chinese, the movie industry, and how whether or not they're catering too much or not enough or whatever to the Chinese market. So we're gonna kind of skip that stuff. We acknowledge it; it exists. There's discussions to be had, but it's not really our discussion to have. We're really here to talk about the movie, the production itself, and what we thought of it. And so that's where we're going to start. Okay. So, who here has seen the '98 animated movie? Okay, so a lot of the bitching online I've heard is basically about how they loved the '98 the animated movie, and it's not that. And I'm going to say the complete opposite, and that is the best Disney movies based on animated movies have been the ones that have ventured farther away than just being copies of their animated twins.
What's your example of that? I'm just curious.
Cinderella, number one, is the best of the changes. The Jungle Book, also pretty solid.
Okay.
You can talk about like, let's say the opposite of that, which is the Lion King, which is almost an exact replica with better CGI, and none of us really like it.
Although, so I will say Beauty and the Beast was like Lion King, but I thought Beauty and the Beast was pretty good.
Beauty and the Beast kind of did a couple of twists and turns because of the politics of Belle being, captured, and the way they handled the Beast a little bit. And I think it is a better than other ones. It's the same as Aladdin. But Aladdin, I think...
Oh, right. Forgot about Aladdin.
Forgot about Aladdin.
But those two
Everybody has, James. Everybody has.
Those two are not the Lion King in that they're not like almost a shot-for-shot replica. They are kind of this middle ground where it's still a musical and it's still a lot of the same stuff, but with a few different scenes, and the princess gets to do a bit more stuff, right? This is not the animated movie. There's no Mushu the Talking Dragon. There's no
Eddie Murphy.
There's no Eddie Murphy. There's nobody breaks into song and dance. And this caused some heat online. I don't know how much, because I don't know what Disney made off of this movie so far. But I will say I am so glad they did it. And I've been highest on the Disney remakes of anybody here, but I think this did itself a favor by not going near any of that stuff. What do you guys think? I'm gonna pass it on. Who gets the first shot?
So are we talking, if we're talking comparisons, I haven't seen the animated one, so I can't really speak on it.
I think when we go through the review, I'll toss in some comparisons that I noticed, some obvious differences than it is. But let's talk about the movie itself. I think a general impression, and maybe point out something that you thought was good or bad that really stuck out to you.
Let me go to James. Everybody's playing shy. So I happened to catch the movie right after my wife and daughter caught it together, and they were like, "Ooh, Dad's not gonna like this part because of this message, just that." I was like, "Oh, they're already mischaracterizing me, misjudged stereotyping me, Dad." So I watched it, and in the first 30 minutes, I'm like, "Oh, this is good. This is some good stuff. I see what Chris is talking about, right?" And then I get into the moment where the battle starts, which I think is the third act, right? When she reveals herself to be a female warrior, and then she has to go to convince the troops.
She got to put her hair down and take off her armor for some reason.
Yeah, and then she has a conversation with the witch.
I have an explanation for that, so.
She has a conversation with the witch, and then she goes to the battle and brings Donnie Yen and troops, and then, saves Jet Li.
Yeah.
That whole third act to me, I was like, this is not exciting anymore. You guys were building me, and it just pooped the bed in that third act. So when I came out the room, and Kat was like, "Well, what do you think?" I was like, I think it's mediocre. I don't know, maybe B-, B. She goes, Serena, I gave it an A. I was like, wow. Like, is it a man-woman thing, or I don't get it?
No, it's a taste, no taste thing.
Son of a gun. So I'm like, I definitely enjoyed the first half and 2/3 of the movie, and I like what they were doing with the movie, and I like how, I forgot the actor who plays her dad because he's been in a lot of movies since the '80s.
He is. I have it right here. That's
He
a
acted the
Saima.
he acted the
Saima.
shit out of his role, and I felt it. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
his.
felt it probably more than the animated version of seeing the dad, how stoic and
Oh, the
honorable he
dad
was.
wasn't very much. I mean, he was there in the
He was
animated,
there, but not like this.
he didn't project the way. Yeah, this definitely did.
The fighting choreography in the beginning during the training scenes was very good, and then just die when it came to the third act. Like two different stunt choreographers took over the movie. So I hated to give it a very negative grade because I really enjoyed
B
the
is not a
first half.
negative grade.
So I wound
think
up selling with a B. The animated movie. Honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the animated movie either. I did like that musical song, "Be My Man." What that song is?
make a
That
man out of
song.
you.
Yeah, that one. I like that one musical part of the animated movie, but I wasn't a huge fan of the animated movie. So to me, I really enjoyed this because I saw something different, and I liked the first 2/3 of the movie. The
Yeah.
third act dropped for me, but not enough for me to say this was a bad movie. That's my take.
All right, great. Mike or Keith?
I didn't see it.
You didn't watch it?
Okay.
So
All
I,
right.
thought, I thought
I
overall
gotta
it was a good movie. It's like I said, I hadn't seen the animated to compare. I understood. I knew what the story was about, right? Obviously,
It's the same.
Mulan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mulan, right? So you know what the story's about. Over the years, people tell you, yeah, it's a movie about this and this. Oh, by the way, the witch. Did you recognize her? She was
Yes.
from
She was
Miami
a
Vice.
Scorpion. She's
You
also in
remember?
Scorpion King.
Yeah, that's right. But I recognized her from the Michael Mann Miami Vice remake
Oh, I never saw that.
with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, we just named two movies that are terrible. Her role was terrible. I'm
Yeah.
sure she had better roles, but
Oh,
she
yeah, I don't
was
know, but that's all
she
I
was the
remember
hot
from.
princess that The Rock had to save, and she
Mhm.
was the female interest in a terrible Miami Vice remake.
Right. Yeah, I thought it started okay as well. I didn't I don't know, compared to the animated, like there was a whole big thing about chi in this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that comes into play in the
I
animated.
don't remember that in the animated.
No, there's.
So it was almost like they were making her like a Jedi.
All right. So one big
That's
difference
what Eric
between.
said. So Eric and I watched it together, and he
All
was
right.
saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So one big difference between the animated and the live action. In the animated, she's kind of a clumsy. She's not a practiced warrior. She's just a clumsy girl who through pluck and through trying her hardest does all of this stuff.
Right. But the same thing is she volunteered as tribute to.
Yeah. It's still
right?
it's the exact same setup, but it's through sheer determination. Whereas she is accessing a power that the way they're explained it in this movie is women aren't supposed to do it. Only warriors and only men are warriors. So this is something it seems her father has taught her and she has
Chris.
learned to use.
I don't think that's 100% accurate, Chris, because the witch had mentioned something different. Because
All right.
she clearly uses powers. She's not a warrior. She's a sorceress, which no man.
That's the witch is built as this worst case scenario. Like women are called witches if they use this power. Men are called warriors. You see the separation. So she's a witch because she can access that same power that men use to use and be warriors. Women aren't allowed to, and so they're cast out. She was cast out of her village, and she continued to use her power and basically becomes a witch, whereas the guys running up the side of the walls using the same exact powers, but they're called warriors.
So she used her power. She could transform to an animal and a bird.
I mean, all right. So there's a word I learned because I was trying to figure out. We've all seen this type of action movie when we've watched a little bit in like the Ip Man series and going exponential in other movies. And that's this thing called wuxia or wuxia movies, where it's kind of a magical kung fu from China.
You just cursed us in Mandarin.
Probably. So it's a whole genre in Chinese kung fu movies where, so the part in Ip Man where he's able to dance on a spinning table while doing his kung fu.
The biggest example is that is Crouching Tiger.
And Crouching Tiger is the most American version.
Yeah, but there's like the Run Run Shaw brothers in the 80s and 70s. Those type of kung fu flicks that we called quote unquote chop suey. That's what the Americans called it.
Yeah,
that's what that's based from.
But this is like the Monkey King is. They're all like this. They're all almost practically superpowers.
Yeah.
They're all force users because they can access and use chi. It's just an internal power. So the way they explain it in this movie, and it's life force. And you see this in anime and all sorts of stuff. It's a life force. And accessing and being able to use that life force gives you basically superpowers. And so in this movie, women aren't allowed to use it or show that they have access to it because only warriors are allowed to.
Yeah, the reason why I disagree with you, Chris, because no one else was shown to use any of those powers but Mulan and the witch.
No, the Emperor. The Emperor did.
Oh, and Jet Li. My bad. And the Emperor, the one male who's the supreme male.
No, the whole invading army. Okay, so one of my favorite shots in this thing is the invading army comes up, one of the first invading, and they jump on the wall and they run straight up the wall, and the camera twists with them.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's them using the chi power.
That was a good shot. Yeah, that was a good shot. I forgot about that one.
So all of that, everything where they duck backwards and they're just miss and they're catching arrows, that's all of the same powers.
Gotcha. I got you. You're right.
Now there was a lot of discussion about, they said women don't have chi in this movie. That's not what they said. Pay attention to what people are saying. They basically said women aren't allowed to use it because it's only for warriors. And so when she uses it in the camp, the first time she shows off, remember she does that staff battle, and she basically shows it off. And they're all like, "Oh, that's awesome! Why didn't you tell us you had it?" No.
Yeah.
Whereas when she was a girl, and she was chasing that chicken, the first thing they showed you, her chasing the chicken, going up, jumping on the roof, and all of that stuff, and then she got yelled at and told she isn't supposed to use it. So you see this dichotomy of they think she's a boy, so all of a sudden this power is fine, but before when they knew she was a girl, it's not fine.
I like that kind of a callback at the end when she was chasing the witch as a bird too.
Yeah.
On the rooftop.
To me, it just made it seem like Mulan was just like a special force, lack of a better word, force user.
She's supposed to be.
It's not just that she's accessing chi like a boy, but she's accessing to a 10th degree.
She's supposed to be. So she is not just a normal. She's been training since a child with her dad.
Yeah,
these other guys.
The fact that she's a girl is irrelevant to the fact that she can access her chi to that level.
But that's the problem. Is the whole movie is about it's only irrelevant because she's a girl. Otherwise, she would be praised. She would be a commander in the army.
Gotcha.
All these things, but she's not allowed to be. That's the whole point.
I gotcha.
So here's my initial thoughts on that. If we want to compare it to the animated storyline, is when I first heard about this movie and they said no songs, no talking dragons, I was like, okay, cool, straight up action movie, right? But then she's a force user, and we've got magical phoenixes following her, and we've got witches who turn into birds. At this point, bring the talking dragon. What are you holding back? Because you basically taken.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you basically said, "Oh, we're not going to do that. We're going to make it like a normal movie." But then, what did this normal movie turn into?
They never said they were making it a normal movie. They were making it something more akin to a Chinese action movie rather than an American comedy movie. So if you stick a talking dragon in there with Eddie Murphy's voice, you have an American comedy, versus what we saw, which I enjoyed because I like those movies. I enjoy, watching, people Shaolin Soccer is one of my favorite movies to watch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And that's got the old grandma and old grandpa, and they like do this force wind thing through a bell and like blow the doors off of an entire building. Like it's all superpowered stuff, and it's fun.
They still had the right amount of dosage of comedy too. Like that whole group of the
I
the
love
B
those
team,
guys.
the B
yeah.
squad that was with her. Those guys are pretty funny in their own right.
I
Yeah,
think so, but personally, I would have preferred a straight up. She's a girl. She's not supposed to be in the army. She's in disguise. She trains her ass off. She proves she's just as good, if not better.
Well, then go watch the animated movie.
No, I know, but I would have preferred like that without the songs and without the without the talking dragon.
Eddie
You know
Murphy.
what I mean?
Well,
But I
yeah.
haven't seen the animated movie, so I can't really say.
You might like
No.
that more.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think it's definitely a taste thing. If,
Hold on,
if
Keith, did you see the animated movie?
No.
Oh man.
I think it's a taste thing. I don't think they. The first thing I texted you guys when I turned it on was it's a beautiful shot. The movie looks gorgeous. The colors,
yep.
the cinematography is amazing.
Yep.
Okay, and you come in and this girl's chasing the chicken and they're telling her, "Stop that! You don't have to do that." And then she starts the superpower stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy crap! This is not what I expected." And I'm having so much fun with this. And I think at that moment, if you're willing to go away from, well, she just has to be a girl who goes into the army and fights, but no, she's a girl who goes in the army and saves the entire empire of China by killing the baddest bad guy in the entire.
Right. You could have still kept that part. There's no reason to do that. Not to do that, right?
So I think adding a little bit of fun to the battling and adding that magical element. It's not the magical element changes the story whether it works or doesn't work. It's just it allows you bigger elements, bigger battles. I wasn't sure. Everybody's like, I mean, Mike, you're saying you could use like a Braveheart version of Mulan.
Yeah, I think that's more my
real.
style. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be a thing. Like, I maybe go look at the 20 other Mulan movies that are out there.
Yeah.
It may be one of them out there.
Yeah, my family told me there's like a bunch of these things out there.
But I think for me, the way they went was a nice surprise for me.
The only thing, going to Mike's point, is with introduction of this chi and magic stuff, I think if you're going to do that, then the power scaling has to be right. Because it seems like at some points she's like super powered, and at other points she's going to fall down a cliff. Or like the witch is so powerful, but then yet she gets a measly arrow through her back in bird form, and she's down for the count. Like,
yeah, the whole witch thing. So one of the main thematic differences between the animated and the live action is the animated seems to be more American in an empowerment. This girl comes from nothing and she can do whatever by determination and power. It doesn't matter that you're a girl. You can just do whatever you want, right? She does all the same stuff, but she does it through will. This one, they really push the family and being true to yourself harder than the empowerment section.
yeah, exactly. That's a good point.
So her whole shedding of the armor, letting her hair down, coming into battle with the flowing robes and long hair was all about her revealing herself and being true to herself, and her power level rose as soon as she was true to who she really is.
Yeah, they threw that message at us when she had the sword with the Chinese character that kept saying true and
right, over and over and over
and
again.
over
true,
again. Yeah,
true.
That's the eat, pray, love sword, right?
Right, and so
pray loves.
and so the witch is just the person who's like, I see you who you are. I see that you're
just
being
like me.
fake. You're just like me. We are
Join
the same.
me, and together we shall
You
rule
the
the
empire
Right.
as mother and daughter.
And
Your mother never told you I am your mother.
And so the question is, So you could ask the question. So she shed her armor when the witch threw the dagger at her. Was the witch trying to kill her, or was the witch helping her reveal herself?
I think helping her to rise like the phoenix.
Right. And then she convinces the witch, hey, you've been abused, you've been mistreated, but I've been the same, but I'm going to react differently. So this is how Anakin reacted to his family being in danger. This is how Luke reacted to his family in danger. You see the two different characters having similar arcs and how they react differently.
Always goes back to Star Wars.
Well, Star Wars is basically, I mean, we all know Lucas loved the samurai flicks, and he loved basic hero journey stuff. So that's really all this is. It's that journey, but you know, they're all eventually everybody respected her because she protected her family and protected China, whereas maybe in the animated one it was protecting her family but also proving a more empowerment point.
Yes.
So, you know, as far as what I was able to read is that Disney, the directors and writers, went to China, mainland China, and talked to people there about what they would expect to see in this kind of movie, as opposed to the Chinese American, you know, kind of input. And that's, like I said, I don't want to touch on it. It's just something I was reading about, and it's interesting, you know, the different viewpoints you might see.
Yeah, I like to actually know what some actual Chinese citizens, what their opinions are, versus Chinese Americans, what their opinions are on the movie.
But what I've been reading that I haven't read actual like reviews or whatever, but it's been getting some blowback.
Yeah,
yeah, it has. I mean, it's got positive reviews, but it's also got some controversial reviews.
Yeah. So I think IMDb's score is pretty low right now. 5.6.
Yeah, before it ever came out, immediately, as soon as they announced no songs and no Mushu, it got a lot of hate, and which is obnoxious. We all know.
But not for me. That's what excited me about it, right? So.
And then now there's this, you know, hiccup. So there's this thing online. America movie reviewers tend to use the Chinese market as an epitaph when they're talking about what's a, you know, oh, they were just chasing the Chinese market. That's the only reason they made this movie. You know, we've heard that.
Yeah.
So in this case, when you're making a story about a character from that place, I don't think it's a horrible idea to go there and kind of chase that market in a sense. It's a different view. Now, did they do a successful job? I guess that's all art is up in the air. So maybe it is a 5 point whatever on the credits.
Yeah, what was the issue? One of the issues I heard, because it was a bunch of white writers.
So the two writers are two husband and wife, white people, and so is the director. Whereas in the animated one, you had a white guy director, but you had, I believe, a Chinese American writer. Okay. So, but you have this has an entirely Chinese cast, 100 top to bottom. They didn't, you know, a lot of the blowback, they said they were going to put a white guy in there to be a love interest or something. That didn't happen.
That would have been, that would have been bad.
But that was all.
I liked the chemistry between the two of them. That was fine.
I didn't think there was real chemistry between the two of them.
I thought
He seemed too old for her. He seemed too old for her.
There was an interesting scene here and there, but I think the same happens with all of these Disney animated ones where people are so invested in the previous version that they think because Disney's making it that either A, they're going to kill it, or B, if it's not exactly what they want, it's the worst thing on the planet. They're not reviewing the movie. They're reviewing their politics. They're reviewing their feeling compared to the last movie. They're reviewing a lot of stuff surrounding the movie and not just the movie.
That's true. Yep.
So,
great point.
I give the movie an A. I think it's beautiful. I think it's well acted. I love the type of action. I think the story is solid. I don't think it hit all cylinders. It's not an A+, but I enjoyed it top to bottom. My family enjoyed it top to bottom. So I'm going to give it an A.
Okay.
Mike?
B minus for me. I'm gonna watch it again. I want to, like, I did pay attention, but I kind of just watched to watch, right? So, like, I want to pay more attention to the details. B minus for me. Acting was decent. Love the cinematography. Love the costume design. Score was pretty good.
Those are going to be up for Oscars.
Yeah. So there was a lot of good points to this movie. And yeah, like I said, the only thing that took me away was some of the stuff with the Phoenix and all that stuff. But it wasn't like terrible, right?
Yeah,
like
I think that's all just kind of imagery to
that's
reinforce background themes more than anything.
Yeah, it was almost kind of like somebody from art film school or something. It was, let me throw this in here. People will love it, you know? So.
Well, do you remember the whole conversation in the beginning with her dad where she broke the wing off the statue?
Right.
And he's like, you know what the Phoenix is? The Phoenix is the protector. And so the Phoenix is like that family crest, that Mushu character, but without all the jokes and all this stuff. It's the somewhat a guide and telling her she's going in the right way.
Care. He has no sense of wow. It's
no sense of wonder. No
Keith
sense of wonder.
Keith and I, we talked about it on another podcast when we watched the Raised by Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Both
I haven't
amazed
seen
by
that
it.
yet. Is it good?
But then Mike's seen it. Mike goes, meh. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about Raised by Wolves next week. But
that's the same reaction he had to that. And I'm just like, dude, even I would, I was taken by some of the cinematography and some of the.
Raised by Wolves is beautiful.
Yeah, this guy, Mike, is like, eh.
I'd love to see this Mulan in 4K. I'm sad I missed it in the theater.
You know why I'm meh? Because I'm waiting for Tom Cruise to film a movie in space, and then I'll go, wow.
But see, now you're looking for something outside of the movie to wow you. The idea that he's in space is wowing you, not the movie.
I know. I don't care.
I think honest. That's fair.
Yeah, movie news has gotten to the point where people have opinions before shit comes out now, and I think it's heavily affecting. Like, just today, we got some Dune pics and a pre-trailer trailer to the Dune trailer.
It's like getting free samples of a free sample at Costco, right?
Right. Yeah, here's a crumb of the bread you can have.
Yeah.
And it annoys the shit out of me. I don't want anything to do with a pre-trailer. Either release the trailer so I can see what I might be into, or don't release the trailer.
But it's you nerds, yo. You nerds are the
It's
reason
not
why
me.
they do that.
Not all of us.
That's why, like, you guys are so thirsty. Like, they know that they can get your viewership. Like, oh, this is the first trailer, and this is the second trailer. This is and like, and they know you nerds are gonna and they'll eat it up and spin it out into the universe and do their marketing for them. That's why they do it.
No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. They're gonna break down. There's gonna be trailer. There's gonna be trailer breakdowns. Frame by frame breakdowns.
Yeah, they can't just break.
Speculation.
Looks like such and such is going to be in this film, and it's like.
Yeah, I'm gonna admit I did that for the Force Awakens trailer. Frame by frame breakdown.
Like, when have they been doing? When has that ever happened? But now, like,
I mean,
multiple trailers for movies.
I see guys doing breakdowns of their BVS movie frame by frame still, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
there's a cult following for Doom, and these guys are out there in the forefront analyzing this and putting YouTube reactions.
Yeah, so I saw Dune again a couple months ago, and I watched it again, and I wasn't that impressed.
I haven't seen it in this millennium. I have not seen it.
No. I don't think I ever watched it all the way through. I think I got bored.
Yeah, it's not my kind of.
I even had the book somewhere.
I love Doom.
I mean, I'll wait. I'll wait for Beetlejuice to summon the worm or something like that.
I also love Beetlejuice.
or
what's please don't remake that.
What's this?
Oh, definitely does not need to be remade.
Oh.
Definitely doesn't need.
What's the song that goes? You have to walk with rhythm, or you'll attract the worm, or walk without rhythm.
I don't know what country song you listen to.
No. It's Oh, never mind.
Keith Urban?
Oh gosh.
Doom's greatest hits.
No, do you guys ever seen the Christopher Walken music video where he dances through the hotel?
Yes.
Yeah. I never listened to the
Rhythm.
words.
Rhythm.
There's words to that? Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know there was
Never
words
knew
to
that.
it.
You've never seen the video and
I've seen
listened to
the
the actual
video.
song?
No, I'm
Have
not
you
listening to the
never
actual
listened to
song.
the actual song?
What
I
song?
will
Now I
later.
gotta look it up.
I will later.
Something to do with rhythm. Ah.
I felt like it was an SNL parody or something.
No,
years
it's an
ago.
actual music video for an actual thing. We're going to pause here. Mike is going to place that video in a box that's going to play. See, it's the magic of editing, Mike.
Oh, you're talking about Praise You?
No. Oh, gosh. Now I'm going to have to look it up because
I'm telling you, I think it was an SNL parody that he
it
did
is not.
in the 90s.
It was a parody? I remember
Yeah.
a video, like a music video, and seeing Christopher Walken like do his
Weapon
little-
of Choice. It's called
his little
Weapon of
dance.
Choice by Fatboy Slim.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one. Oh, yeah.
I felt like I'd never listened to the words. I just the beat.
Never.
Really?
Watch them.
Ever listen
Oh.
to the words?
Okay, well,
I didn't even realize there were words in that song.
one of the
Yeah, it's just news to me.
Right.
one of the lyrics is "Walk without rhythm, and you won't attract the worm," which is I believe it's a Dune reference. Because aren't the worms attracted to walking through the desert?
Something like that.
Oh, come on, nerds! You guys should know.
Yeah,
Not
they'll let
that-
us
not
know
that
in the
nerd.
comment section.
Wrong nerd. You're more elf nerd, right? Elves and dwarves nerd.
Elves and dwarves. Black elves lives matter.
They're not black elves, dark elves.
The dark elves. I always read it the other way when I was reading it.
I think most people do.
Come on, R.A. Salvatore. Say what you mean.
I'm glad he didn't go there, though. I'm hoping that wasn't what he meant.
No, that's not what he meant. A race of evil elves who happen to be black. No.
No, that's all right. So that's our review of Mulan.
Yeah,
I gave it a B. You gave it an A. You gave it a B minus, Mike.
That's a pretty good range.
That's a good range, yeah.
I think if you like that kind of action, I think
we're
definitely
gonna
see it.
beat this Mulan thing into the ground, huh?
We talked just as
It's
long
like-
about we talked just as long about
like,
3
juicing
episodes of
it
The
out,
Voice.
like nobody has anything to say, but they're still like, you're so Mulan and great. And like, okay, like it's obviously done.
Wait. One
Like,
last.
nobody has
no.
anything else to say about Mulan, but you're still on Mulan. I don't understand.
Well,
Here's
these guys,
one last thing. Here's one last thing because Serena and I, although she was still in punishment, she did make one comment to me because I was arguing with Eric. I was like, "How does anyone not realize that she's a girl?" And Serena says, "Yeah, that was bad casting because she clearly looks like a female. Her angular face, everything about her was screaming female. Yet everyone believed that she was a boy."
Well-
This is my 17-year-old daughter saying this.
yeah, my family said that too. My answer to this was a call to any male of age. So think of boys 15, 16-year-olds before they really hit. They can have feminine qualities.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
Wait, you bought into the whole Phoenix and the Chi thing, but you didn't buy into the fact that she could
Nope,
look
I
like a boy?
could not suspend that disbelief, man.
Oh, my
wow.
gosh.
Flying
All right.
birds, yeah, I
that
got
didn't
that.
bother me at all. So you see where we are with that.
Yeah,
All right.
all right, that's good.
That's it.
Hey, this weekend I'm going to do a quick peek on Tenet. So stay tuned.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Can we at least we watch it though? Shit.
Hmm?
Can we wait
Yeah,
till the
can you
rest
give
of us
us?
watch
Yeah,
it?
like that's a for real
When are you gonna
actual
watch it?
movie.
Probably Friday.
Okay, so we'll do a thing on Saturday then.
All right.
Are the rest of you going to go see it?
I don't know. Is it around me? I don't know. I haven't even looked.
I don't have a drive-in theater around. I'm not going into anyone's indoor theater.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
I'm gonna search for one. I think there's one somewhere in Jersey.
Yeah, there's a couple in Jersey actually. I think like further, probably in your area actually, James.
Yeah, I'm gonna check. Also,
right,
we should talk about Raised by Wolves at some point, but you guys got to watch it.
Next week, next Monday, we'll talk about it.
all right. I'll have to turn it on now that I think I'm caught up on all of my other watching because I finished off Stargirl.
Oh, and do you guys want to discuss that Netflix show with it's called Away, about the trip to Mars? I sent it to you guys. If you want to discuss it next week or the week after.
The Way.
It's called Away.
Away.
Yeah, I've seen a trailer for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't.
It looks interesting.
It's on Netflix. Take a look.
It's new? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's new. Looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it out. All right, guys.
All right, so everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos, and follow us on like every social media platform there is. At Heroes.
Also, please leave your comments. Leave comments.
Yeah.
Let us know what you find interesting, what you don't. Leave comments. That's how we engage with you guys and gals.
Yep.
Yeah, we promise we'll engage from now on.
Make it so.
No entanglements.
Somebody.
Entanglements.
No
One of us.
entanglements. That's hilarious.
All right, guys. I think that's a good night. Thank you very much for joining me.
All right, have a good night.
Cheers.
Night, everybody.
Keep it like we're beating this Mulan to death.
Like,